Hi, off.
Make sure you don't have any weapons on you. And then
No, I don't have any weapons.
Put your hands behind your back. All right. I'm just going to make sure you don't have nothing on you. Then we'll talk, okay?
Can I put my bag down?
No. Put your hands behind your back and release your fingers. Thank you. And then we'll have a conversation.
Look at me. Don't look at anybody else. Do you understand?
Okay.
Keep your hands together, palms together. Keep your feet spread apart for me. Thank you. And do you have any identification on you?
Sure.
So what do you got in here, a phone? Okay. All right, we're going to take this off, and I'm going to put this down on the side.
Sure.
All right, let's have a seat right here. And then you can explain to me what you're yelling at.
Okay. So this school here, the Delphi school, it looks like a regular school, but it's not. It's a front group for the Church of Scientology.
So?
And I protest the Church of Scientology in various locations. And I was not on their property, I was on church property. That's a real church. And they go in there, and their purpose is to, on the front, be a school, but they set check and security check children and subtly interrogate them so they can find blackmailable information about their parents. Especially if their parents are Scientologists, like Jett Travolta or Will Smith.
Before you continue, I'm just going to need your identification to see I'm talking to you, and then you can explain the... okay.
So I take donations over the internet to protest Scientology.
I'll take it.
Let me ask you this, did they ask you to leave?
Did they ask me to leave?
Yeah.
No, they just ran inside, but I was on the church property the entire time. I never go on their property.
Yeah, it's still a private property for the church.
Right, but they didn't
So would you
complain.
like me to have someone from the church come and tell you to stay off their property? Would that make you feel, would that make you not go on there more?
Yes, that would. And I'd like to talk to them because they probably don't know that they're next to Scientology.
Yeah, they do know.
They do know. Well, I'd be interested in hearing what they think about that.
It's not my problem, not your problem. The fact is, you're creating a disturbance at a school and scaring children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You're a very large man, you'd be a little intimidating to little children.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So the way you're acting is unreasonable.
Okay, well then I will leave and not do it again.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Hold on, put the truck.
Then I will leave and not do it again.
Well, you just said you're going to do it on the property. You're going to do it out here, the same thing?
I may get a sign. I just happen to be in the neighborhood with my camera, so I thought I would record what goes on. But oftentimes I will use the sign if I think that's appropriate.
Do you think yelling is appropriate?
At times.
Was this one of those times?
I guess not. You should be ashamed of what you're doing to children. You should be ashamed, but you're not. But
I'm asking you. You made the decision. I heard you yelling.
I feel concerned for children that are in a position that puts them in danger. And usually I have come here before and not yelled loud because there were children around, and I had to keep it light.
Before that too?
I've been here before on the property out front.
In my experience, I know. In my experience, when I notice when people do protest, when they do it and they do it in the way that you're doing it, in the fashion of yelling at the actual people, it's really not constructive because of the fact that they're set in their ways and they're not going to change their mind. It just becomes more of it takes away your
credibility.
Your credibility, really. Only because of the fact that you're not doing it in a respectful and in a mindful way. You have every right to protest and express your beliefs, but when you, I guess, kind of cross the line in the way where police have to come out and get involved.
What's up with the noise?
They make that noise.
Then it kind of does take away your credibility. So the only thing we can do is try to guide you in the right direction and do it properly.
To be honest, my goal is to make the police come because I want the police to find out things about these organizations.
That is something that we deal with criminal matters, and this is more of a matter of a spiritual or civil matter.
Or public protest matter, religion matter, isn't it?
I'm sorry?
It's like a public protest versus religion matter.
Yeah. We'll deal with the public protest side of it. The religious side of it, that's something that we don't deal with because we don't cross those lines.
Right.
There's lawyers and the civil liberties that you can you know, people that you can contact to find out what avenues you can to try to change, you know, or maybe work with the city
I already have
to-
I already have a lawyer that we go to court over Scientology all the time.
Yeah. So, you know, so like I said, when you cross the line, you're going into a private property. You know, that's when the police come out, and then it takes away your credibility because we have to come out to you, sit you out here, and now people will see you when you're walking by as somebody that doesn't have a message, but somebody that could be a possible threat not only to the place but also to the public. So I mean, I'm just trying to find a.
Oh, I understand.
We're gonna get some information from them, find out what, see if we can get the person who actually runs this property right here, maybe to advise you to see if, to let you know that you're not welcome to come onto school property. This way you know. So for future reference, you won't have to be arrested.
Right. Now, I have never been on their property, but I do take pictures.
School or church property.
But I do take pictures of them through the windows, and then they immediately run away. But there's no.
You take pictures of children in the window.
No, I took pictures of the two adults sitting there talking.
How do they know that? How do you know? How did they not know that you're taking a picture of them and maybe the children are there?
There were no children in the room. And they know that I'm a protester, and the minute they saw me, they took off.
Well, because you're boisterous, like my partner said, and you're threatening.
Well, I guess I'm so used to protesting adult Scientologists somewhere, I came across too hard to children. Are you a Scientologist? Hey, watch it, old man. Watch it, old man.
Children are innocent. They don't have no idea. They're just being taught something, right?
They're being taught LRH Tech, which is early Scientology.
Hi, my name's Mira, and I'm 7 years old, and I just love my school.
But they don't know any different. That's what they've grown up to be educated with. Why don't you go to Scientology in Hollywood?
Oh, I do all the time.
Well, why don't you go there? If this is just a hub, then they have no knowledge of it. I mean,
oh no, they have all sorts of knowledge.
They have knowledge of it, but they can't do anything. It's just like part of a branch of government. You have to go all the way to the top. Go to the top. See Tom Cruise.
No, the top is David Miscavige, and it doesn't matter if I go to the top. The government won't do anything. The government continues to not do anything. The FBI won't do anything. The state attorney general won't do anything.
What does that tell you then?
That tells me that Scientology is very powerful.
What does it tell you though?
It tells me I guess I should keep protesting.
Really? Or let it go? Maybe
No, I'm not going to let it go. They're anti-gay, they're anti-psychiatrists, they separate families, they human trafficking. It's particularly bad in Riverside, which is where their world headquarters is.
Do you have children?
No, I'm gay. Which is another reason I don't like Scientology, because they will tell people, you know, we can cure you of your gayness and you just give us lots of money.
Okay, so what about Catholicism? How come you don't protest the Catholic Church?
Oh, I do. Sometimes I wear a Pope hat and I protest St. Victor's Catholic Church. George, you're not acting in a Christian manner.
I don't give a fuck. Listen, why don't you, you know, I got a good side and I got a bad side. And you don't want to say my, shut up!
This is someone who represents the church. She's in charge. She no longer wants you. Listen.
Go ahead.
You're no longer allowed on the property. She has standing. She's now authorizing us, if you come on the property, to have you arrested for trespassing. Do you understand that?
I understand that, yes.
Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it.
It's odd that you
didn't.
She didn't. They denied they were part of Scientology when I've come before and asked.
It's not my problem. How many times have you been here and the cops have had to come?
Never.
You know about there's a history of this?
Yeah. There's a it's an ed code. So let me tell you something about the education code of the state of California. You go onto the property anywhere in the vicinity of a school safe zone. So this is a school. 1,500 feet is a school safe zone. You bring in your noise basically into that zone is a violation of the education code. You could go to jail. All right?
So if I silently protest with a sign in front, that's okay?
That's fine. Do not disturb the school. Do not disturb the surroundings of the school, okay?
I see.
Don't be threatening.
Well, that would be a good thing. That would be a good thing to do when they're trying to get people in to sign up new kids to just stand there with a sign.
What you got to do not be boisterous, okay? Do not be vocal on a campus of a school or within 1,500 feet.
I see.
Okay?
Yeah, I know that it's illegal to interrupt a religious service too. But
any school, religious service, any school, any assembly.
I see.
Okay, any type of assembly be disruptive. All right. Thank you.
So I would suggest you do a little bit more research if you're going to come out here and have a sign, because there are municipal codes on how big the sign can be.
Right, and it's not. I don't use sticks, or I never use sticks because they can be clubs.
Yeah,
and I don't block egress or ingress.
Okay, so you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't want. I mean, you have every right because you're passionate and you feel strongly about your beliefs, and
right.
you want to stop them from doing that. But I think that would be the best way, because it makes you more credible. As
right. I
to,
see. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Somebody yelling and all that. Anything else, Steve?
Well, we got to wait a few. He's got to look up some things.
Okay.
Try to educate him a little more about what he can and can't do.
Okay. Are you on probation or parole or anything like that?
Say that again.
Are you on probation or parole?
No, I'm not on parole.
Okay.
They have the Scientologists have a restraining order against me in Hollywood.
You can leave me alone now.
Well, then you can get off the public street.
Actually, I don't think it's anything natural to follow women around the street.
And a restraining order against me in Riverside.
Get out of the car.
I'm on the cement curb.
Okay. And what's your occupation? What do you do?
I'm a computer animator. I'm a Disney animator.
Oh, really? Do you work for Disney, or are you just?
I work for different studios. The last thing I did was Steven Spielberg's The Pacific, and my last Disney movie was The Guardian.
Really? That's the one with
Ashton
Alice.
Kutcher. No, that's one that's coming up. This was with Ashton Kutcher and Kevin Costner.
Oh, okay. When I'm thinking animation, I'm thinking like
like cartoons. Yeah, no, I do photorealistic special effects. Yeah, I do special effects like explosions and spaceships and laser beams.
Do you have a vehicle?
No.
No.
I do not own a gun. If you own a vehicle, it's easier for Scientologists to follow you, because I was followed for days for a while, and they try and get you they try and frighten you into having a fender bender with someone, and then they jump out and run to that person and say, "We'll totally help you sue this guy for bumping into you," that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They go after critics very hard.
Do you want this information?
I'm gonna, definitely. Okay. Would appreciate that.
Sure.
I filled out a lot of FIs.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just for our documentation.
I understand. I want you to do that, because then it shows that I've been places, but I've not been arrested, or that kind of thing. Or I communicate with the police, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, you've been really respectful with us, and we really appreciate it. And as long as you listen to what we say, go along with the program here. We're not here to stop you from doing what you believe.
Right, I see.
We just need to find some guidelines for you to.
Well, I'll come up with a big sign and hold it in front when they're doing their fundraising and they're trying to get people to sign up.
Where are you going to head to today after this?
I'm going back home on the bus to West Hollywood.
Do you take photos of? Is that like a hobby, taking photos, or is this photos for just this?
As a Scientology protester, I have to record everything, because they will have me arrested for mocked up charges.
Oh, okay.
So I record everything, and that way everybody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And the lawyers and the DAs don't understand it. Why are both sides submitting the same video as evidence? But to each side, the videos mean something. Yeah.
Well, I hope that you see that we're just trying to be fair.
Oh, I understand. I understand completely. I think you've been more than fair.
Every day at Delphi, we learn so much. Geography, writing, social studies, and just tons of stuff. There's so much going on at Delphi, I just can't say it all.
There are a large number of these schools all over Southern California, but they have different names. And they also have missions, but those are all failing. The schools fail less often, I don't know why.
See, I never knew this would be part of that. What's it called, the Delphi Academy?
The Delphi Academy.
What does the Delphi stand for?
Delphi, their main school is in Portland, was called the Delphi School, and now they all have that name, but there's other names too. And the Scientologists license out their learning technology to these different places, and they start these schools. And then the little kids get fed early Scientology stuff without knowing it. But they also have, on Hollywood Boulevard, the Hollywood Educational Literacy Project, which
I've seen that before.
That's also them.
I'm not too familiar with Scientology. What are some of their main core beliefs?
Well, they believe in reincarnation, so that it's a way to treat people cheaply. So like we can work you to death because when you die, you're just going to be reincarnated. So that's no big deal. When you become one of their priests, you sign a billion-year contract.
Hold on one second. You know, I seen like, remember South Park? Did like
yes, that's the most famous episode. Yeah. That didn't get rerun for a while because Tom Cruise pressured them so much.
Okay.
But they believe in reincarnation because it's a way to like treat people cheaply. They believe in things called the tone scale, and your soul is a thetan. And they could say soul, but that would sound like any religion. So they invent the name thetan. And if you become, if they teach you to be a perfect soul, you become an operating thetan like Tom Cruise. And you just spend more and more money on courses that slowly mean less and less until you reach what's called OT level 3. And then you find out on South Park, you find out about Xenu, the galactic emperor, who killed millions of space aliens, and their disembodied souls are what cause all the problems in your life. So like John Travolta's son was autistic, and they say that's not even a real disease. It's caused by body thetans that mocked up on him because John Travolta is still gay, or maybe John Travolta's son did bad things in a previous life in like the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
So it's another way to screw people over. You can say, but my son is newborn. He's never done anything wrong. Oh well, in a previous life he probably did. So that way they can pile on the guilt. And by the time
I remember there was a movie that John Travolta did. It was like a
Battlefield Earth. Yes, that was based on L. Ron Hubbard's work.
Was that part of the Thetan?
No,
thing,
the space aliens in that movie act like
fantasy?
Scientologists. No, that was just a science fiction thing because L. Ron Hubbard was a science fiction writer.
Yeah.
So when he needed to come up with levels of Scientology that people could pay for more and more, he eventually started inventing really funny stories.
Oh, okay.
And then people end up spending like hundreds of thousands of dollars in 10 years to find out that evil things in the world are caused by space alien ghosts.
I heard about that. Okay, I guess he has some information.
Can we look at your camera? You mind if we look at the pictures, make sure you don't have any pictures of kids on there?